Natural Resources Fund Board appointed. Attorney Singh charged for alleged racist attack. Government considers national oil company. And mixed messages on the economy makes no sense. I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The President has appointed the government representatives for the Natural Resources Fund. Major General Joseph Singh has been appointed as the chairman of the board of directors. British parliamentarian of Guyanese origin David Lammy and permanent representative of Guyana to the United Nations Carolyn Rodriguez-Beckett have also been appointed to the board. They will be joined by former PNC parliamentarian Dustin Barrow, who was selected by a parliamentary committee, and private sector nominee Ramesh Dukku. The president wants to meet with Aubrey Norton in 2 weeks' time. The expected engagement with Norton will focus on matters relating to the Constitution, but there's no single priority item. Consultations between these two leaders are needed for the reconstitution of several commissions, including the Integrity Commission, the Public Service Commission, and the Judicial Service Commissions. The president has not yet dispatched an invitation to Norton, though he said he'll do so in the coming days. The Education Ministry is again pushing back the full reopening of schools. On Monday, pupils in years 2, grades 5 and 6, as well as grades 9 through 12, are returning to class. Then on Thursday, April the 28th, pupils in grades 3, 4, and grade 8 are expected to return to school. And finally, on Tuesday, May 3rd, Year 1 pupils and grades 1, 2, and students in grade 7 will make their return to face-to-face classes. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2014 Audi Q3. It comes with Bluetooth, mudrims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $5.6 million. All paid down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Enrico sent you for this sweet, sweet deal. This morning, the son of retired Chief Justice Karl Singh, attorney Navin Singh, found himself before the magistrate's court facing a private charge of unlawfully exciting and attempting to excite racial hostility and ill will towards police constable Shawnette Bowlers. The trial is ongoing, even though the police themselves have yet to take action on the alleged racist attack on one of their officers. The attorney pleaded not guilty to the private charge. Singh was released on $100,000 bail, and he will make his next court appearance on the 18th of May. The police constable has already filed civil proceedings against the attorney. She is seeking over $100 million in compensation. The Guyana Police Force has issued a wanted bulletin for 19-year-old Luis Jose Medina Zapata in connection with the murder of Felipe Galaviz. Galaviz is a Venezuelan national who was stabbed to death on April 15th at Orinoco Port Kaituma in Region 1. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call the police on 911 or the nearest police station. The police are also searching for 30-year-old Nigel Abraham, who allegedly stabbed his foster son to death at Blackwater, Northwest District on Sunday. 17-year-old Daniel Wilson is dead, while his cousin, 19-year-old Ron Moonsamy, is hospitalized in a critical condition. The police said the three men were drinking when an argument ensued. It is alleged that the foster father took a knife and fatally stabbed Wilson. When Moonsamy intervened, Abraham then turned on him and stabbed him in the chest. Abraham is currently on the run, while Moonsamy is still recovering. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2022. Lenore Estates West Coast MRI properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 for more info. 3 men were arrested after they reportedly assaulted 2 families in Mahika just after midnight on Monday. According to the police, there is an ongoing dispute between one of the suspects and one of the family members, 29-year-old Gurdat Jaraman. Jaraman was charged in February for allegedly discharging a loaded firearm at one of the suspects. Well, on Monday, a relative of Jaraman and one of the suspects had a confrontation at the KK gas station. A short time later, the suspects visited Jaraman's home, confronted him, and an argument ensued. The suspects then pelted the man's home with bottles and a piece of wood before one of the suspects broke into the house of Sujardio Nandan, another resident, and allegedly stabbed him while he was in his bed. The 3 are currently in police custody, while Nandan was treated and discharged from the hospital. According to the police in Linden, 41-year-old mechanic Delon Hope and his family had just returned from an Easter event at around 10 p.m. on Monday when a gunman attacked them in the yard and demanded valuables. Well, Hope refused. The suspect responded by shooting him in the leg and pulling off the victim's gold chain and his wedding ring. He then fled the scene. Hope was admitted to the hospital in a stable condition. Now for today's oil update. The government is considering the establishment of a national oil company to manage the oil resources if new exploration areas are not auctioned off to new investors. On Tuesday, Jagdeo told Bloomberg that the government has been swamped by interest from foreign investors, especially from the Middle East. He said they've already signaled their interest in being Guyana's, quote, strategic partner. As the government weighs its choices between establishing this national company or auctioning off the oil block to the highest bidder, he also noted that further partnerships with Exxon is also not out of the question. Nevertheless, he had previously stated that the government will make a final decision on the matter by this September. Do you own a truck? No, not the disease, I mean a real truck, like DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scamble. Then come, get high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Sending mixed messages. The media is telling me that I am in the middle of a literal oil bonanza living in Guyana. The IMF is telling me that despite the war and the Rona, we are still among the fastest-growing economies in the world. The government is telling me that we are swamped with interest from international investors, and yet it's easier for me to get a $300,000 loan from courts than it is for me to get one from the Small Business Bureau. Currently, the GCCI is hosting its National Small Business Week. They are encouraging small business owners to apply for loans to expand their business operations. But they are neglecting the fact that in order to get a small business loan from either the government or the commercial banks, you often have to put up anywhere between 40 to even 80% collateral, which would be just fine if we're talking about big businesses. They have the capital and the assets to back it up. Meanwhile, $300,000 could be the seed money to completely revolutionize a small business, or to turn a side hustle into an actual business. But let's be honest, most people who need such a relatively small loan wouldn't even have the business assets to qualify as collateral for these banks. This is even sadder when you consider the fact that microfinancing charities such as Kiva, Sedisha, WMI, and BRAC have been in operation for years around the world, and they enjoy very good success rates, having brought thousands of people around the world out of soul-crushing poverty up to a status in which they can actually sustain themselves. So if you're taking account at home, it's easier to get financing from a charity, and it's easier to get financing from a furniture store than it is to get a small business loan in Ghana. So, if there is so much investor confidence in the future of our economy, and easy finance is a sign of a healthy, growing economy, then please tell me what is really going on here. Because if you ask me, this mixed messages thing is pretty stupid. Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday's question was, what are your biggest concerns for the nation? Losh said, the young patriotic professionals in this nation migrate because they can't afford local housing here, or it's not provided to them and there's better living options elsewhere, further exacerbating our brain drain problem. Come on, government, help your boys and girls. 2, our people remain ignorant and continue to wait around for the government to give them oil money, only to end up receiving nothing and further increase instances of generational poverty in the nation. And 3, the rise in crime and instances of gangs among the poor due to the widening gap between the rich and poor. You summed it up well earlier. Thank you. I am Bantu says, your serious concerns have been my concern for many years, but every time I raise an issue on social media, it becomes a political war and not a social discussion on true development. Hopefully the masses will see your point and get the conversation moving. I really do hope so, but I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one who feels this way. The realist one says, talented Guyanese like me, I dropped out of school at 12, and I'm self-taught as the education system failed us in my time. I traveled many places and speak different languages. I am the proud owner of Future Floors LLC. I'm based in NYC, but have worked all over the Caribbean and abroad doing the airport floors, mainly Barbados. I've done work at JFK also. However, sad to say, I've never gotten a contract at our own airport in Guyana. Nevertheless, I'm hoping they will reconsider and do the right thing for the taxpayers' dollars, as I've seen the cheap Chinese tiles being delaminated at the brand new airport floor. And I'm not special. There are many, many more talented Guyanese in this diaspora, hiding in those winter jackets especially. People that just needed a little inspiration and encouragement from others to shine out of the darkness from where we came. You know, you got the right name there. You truly are the realest one, because what you've said is absolutely true. And honestly, it's great to see that you brought yourself up by the bootstraps to make something of yourself, because honestly, there is no dishonor in trade work. In fact, I feel the greatest honor is building something with your hands. Richie K says, mandate national swimming lessons, more sports leading to more national teams, and more funding for skilled trades like plumbers, electricians, concrete work, and welding, etc., etc. Exactly, because the trades are what builds the nations. I mean, STEM is nice, and being hotel managers and whatnot, that's also good too, but electricians, plumbers, and concrete work literally build your nation. 2D Dehan says, if the heads of the judiciary system are lawless and bribable, so it will continue in Guyana. You're absolutely right. Maybe we need to have some other factors to try to keep people in line. And Guyette says, is there a possibility in the near future that the Guyana dollar will be reevaluated to the US? Yes, there might be, but it might have horrible economic consequences if we're not careful. Before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way to make extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up and quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. Now that the board members for the oil money have been selected, how confident are you that they will keep the oil money spending in check? Do you think they'll keep everything above board, or will they just be a rubber stamp? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Pulford saying good night, folks.